Hey y'all, I'm just giving you an update for my Sword Soul deck list. Meta's changed a lot since Floowandereeze was released and Adventure was released, and Sword Souls went through a couple of minor changes. I haven't really changed too much with the deck, to be honest, but I'm just going to go through with what I've added and why I think it's a good choice for the meta. First off, you can see that I got that Deskbot 1 in there. That's because we're doing Auroradon shenanigans with Halley Fibrex. We finally caved in and we're actually running him. I know I said in my original Sword Soul deck profile I would never do it, but my hand has kind of been forced because stuff like Adventure is nutty, and the more plays that I have to out it, the better. So one Deskbot001. For everyone that doesn't know why I'm running this, the reason is once you use Despot and something else to make a Auroradon and you summon the tokens, you can then summon Despot001 back from your graveyard, and you can then go directly into a level 10 if you wanted to, which is a pretty sweet ability to use. And then next we have Mecha Phantom Beast O-Lion. This is just another way to make Hulk or Auroradon as quickly as possible, pretty much. And having them both is kind of nice. I know people typically run one or the other. I'm running them both because I like the option, and because I'm running Pot of Desires and one normally gets banished. If I accidentally banish both, I just go, okay, whatever, Mabu Booey. This guy's also good because when he's destroyed, you get the token, and so the token can help you sponge a hit. So if you have just the shittiest hand imaginable, you can just set him and be like, well, at least I know I can take 2 hits. So, decent enough. Next we have the one Adhara. We're only running one of this guy now. We've completely cut the water one to make room for some of the other cards in this package we're running. In case you don't know what the 10 Ys do, if you don't have any effect monsters on the field, you can special them out from your hand. They all have that ability, and then they all have a secondary ability where if you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can banish it from your hand or graveyard. This one lets you target a banished worm monster, add it back to your hand. This one lets you bounce one card your opponent controls to their hand. And this one lets you special summon another 10E from your deck, but it will then lock you into only being able to special summon Wyrm type monsters from your extra deck, so be aware of that. And then next we got the 2 Maxi. I know Flunder's running around. It sucks sometimes when I draw 2 of these and I play against Flunder. There are times where I win anyway. It is pretty funny when that happens. Next, we have the 2 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. I know that this card isn't super great against Flunder, but between this and the 3 Infinite Impermanence, I've actually had some good results. There have been so many games where they'll have the field spell, and then they'll have Rabina, and I'll have the Impermanent hand and the Ash in hand, and I'll be able to Imperm the Rabina, they'll add back the Eagle, and then they'll play the Eagle, and then I Ash the Eagle. And then from that, I actually will have stopped both of their searchers, and it comes to my turn, and I can just run them down with Sword Souls. So I am running 3 for that reason. When I play decks that aren't Flunder, Ash is as good as Ash always was. But that's why I'm running 3 Ash and not 2. Next we have 3 Sword Soul of Mo Yi. When he's normal or special, you can reveal a Sword Soul or Worm monster in your hand. Special summon a token. The token is water. Level 4. Attack 0. Defense 0. And for all the token summoner Sword Souls, when that token is in the monster zone, the player who summoned it cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Synchro monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, you get to draw a card. You can only use each effect of Sword Soul Mo Yi once per turn. Next we have Sword Soul of Taya. You can banish a Sword Soul or Worm from your graveyard and special summon the token. Same type as the other one. Same attack. all that good stuff. Same restriction of you can only special summon synchros from the extra. When this guy is synchroed with and sent to the graveyard, you can send a Sword Soul or a Worm monster from your deck to your graveyard. That's always really useful if we need to send Vishu to bounce something. So we're running 2 Tias. Next, we're running 3 Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous. Having this at 3 is actually great because if you go second and you need to make your opponent spend cards, this thing gets ashed so often, and the fact you can just summon it for free and then activate the effect is great. And having 3 of them has been great. Weirdly enough, I've never dead drawn 2 of them while playing. And that's strange, but I'm happy about it. Next, we have my favorite Sword Soul, the Strategist, Long Wan. You can discard a Sword Soul card or other Worm monster, special this card from your hand, then special summon 1 Sword Soul token, Worm, Tuner, Water, level 4, attack 0, defense 0. While that token is in the monster zone, the player who summoned it, you guessed it, can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except synchro monsters. And when this one's sent to the graveyard for synchro material, you can inflict 1,200 damage to your opponent. You can only use each effect of Sword Soul Strategist Long Wan once per turn. And then next we have the 1 Sword Soul Auspice Chun Jun. Now you're probably saying, why are you running the red one? I'm running the red one because whenever one of my small Sword Souls like Mo Yi gets gets impermed, or they try to negate the effect for something that the card has to be on the field to negate the effect, I'm just going to chain the Sword Soul Keijun, tribute it, and then dodge the effect, and I'll still get a token, and I'll have a 6 and a 4 out, and I can make 10. Or if you just need to make another level 10 monster, and you summon the token with one of the small guys, then you tribute it to make one of the bigger synchros from the extra deck. He's just kind of versatile, and so that's why he's really decent. Also, before damage calculation, if your Worm monster battles an opponent's monster special summon from the extra deck, you can destroy both that opponent's monster and this card. You can only use each of the following effects of Sword Soul Auspice Chun Jun once per turn. During the main phase, you can tribute a monster and special summon this card from your hand. That's during your main phase or your opponent's main phase. You can do it at the end of the main phase before the battle phase as well. And you can special summon it from your hand. If it's sent to the graveyard for a synchro material, you can target one card on the field or in the graveyard and banish it. That effect is killer. So we already covered Vishu, we already covered Ashuna, we're running 2 of each. Then we have the 1 Nibiru. Nibiru's MVP right now. I really like the card. And because you have so much stuff in your extra deck that can return or destroy monsters, you don't gotta worry about the token being chonky, because you can always just use Baxia to say, get out of there. Or you can just nuke the token away with Floor, or you can use Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign's effect to banish it, and you can easily trigger that with Grandmaster. Next we have 3 Pot of Desires. I'm running 3 and not 2 now because sometimes I need to beat over something huge with Grandmaster, and Grandmaster actually was 5,900 attack in one of my previous games. I looked at my opponent and I said, well, I'm going in with that. Next we got the 1 Lightning Storm. This card is absolutely fantastic to deal with back row or front row, and if you're going second and you have this opening hand, there's a good chance that you'll need it, and at the very least, it'll sponge negate. And then we have 3 Sword Soul Emergence. This card is amazing. Add 1 Sword Soul monster from your deck to your hand. If you control a synchro monster, you can just add any Worm type monster instead. If this card's banished, you can target a Sword Soul monster or Worm monster you control. Increase or decrease its level by 1 until the end of the turn. You can only use each effect Sword Soul Emergence once per turn. Next we have 2 Called by the Grave. This card is good against pretty much everything except for Flunder right now, but it's been really important to have to stop the hand traps so you can make those explosive Sword Soul plays. Next we have 1 Crossout Designator. This card has been MVP, being able to stop most of the stuff that I would run in this deck myself is pretty nice. Also helps tremendously during the mirror. 1 evenly matched in case our opponent just has breakmyboard.exe. And then 3 infinite impermanents, and then 1 Swordsoul Blackout. Swordsoul Blackout is target 1 worm monster you control, and 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them. If this card is banished, you can if this card is banished, you can special summon a Swordsoul token into your monster zone, and it has the same restrictions as all the little Swordsoul summoners, so you can only synchro. Then we have the Mac Daddy Supreme Swordsoul Sovereign, Chen Ying. For every banished card, you and your opponents gains 100 attack and defense. Your opponent's monsters lose 100 attack and defense. This card would be destroyed by card effect. You can banish a card from your graveyard instead. If a card is banished, except during the damage step, you can banish 1 card from both your opponent's field and graveyard. You can only use this effect Swordsoul Supreme Sovereign Chen once per turn. And yes, if you activate Called by the Grave, it will proc his ability. Next, we have 1 Crimson Blader. This is great for the mirror. This is great against Dark Magician. This is even great against Flunder. If it destroys an opponent's monster in battle and sends it to the graveyard, your opponent cannot normal or special summon level 5 or higher monsters during their next turn. 2 Baxia. When it's synchro summoned, you can target cards in the field equal to the level of different original attributes of where monsters you use for its summon. Shuffle them to the deck. You can also use its ability to destroy one of your monsters on the field, including himself, to special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. This is really good to get rid of things, and then also use him as an extender. So if I use the little Swordsoul and summon him, then get rid of 2, I will typically use his own effect to destroy him or something else, to then go into Mo Yi, to then use Mo Yi's effect to another summon. 1 Burl Savage Dragon. 1 Draco Berserker of the Tenyi, 1 Emancipator Risen Dragite, 2 Swordsoul Grandmaster Chixiao, 1 Chao Fang Phantom of the Yangzing, 1 Marin de Flor, 2 Monk of Tenyi, 1 Helifibrix, and 1 Mechapenta Beast of Rorodon. I hope you guys like this deck update. The ratios are just a tad different, but it's made all the difference in the world for this format. And I'm going to leave you guys with a couple of replays, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.